Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Neurodiverse Wrestler Says. Boy, was TNA kind of crazy. We got a new dominant woman in the Knockouts division. We got a lot of feuds going on. A love story happening backstage, kind of. And I contract right in to bring up some old dirt and rivalry. So let's get to it. But before we do, please like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on TikTok and our Instagram. And now let's get on to the video. So we kick things off with Jeff and Matt Hardy following the weeks of disturbing mind games by the Righteous. And they are done. They say they are done with the Righteous. They just want the Righteous to be done with, and they're ready to do anything to take them out. The Righteous come out saying, we just only wanted to help. We didn't want to make you guys mad. But if they are going to fight, they want a friendly competition. The Hardy says no peace. They are going to get hell. And they are just crazy at the end. And the Righteous says the Hardys want to fight, but the Righteous says not on their time, on the Righteous time. So we have to see where that all stores. Most likely we're going to get the match at TNA Genesis. I'm predicting most likely for the TNA Knockout Championship. So I can't wait. Most likely they're going to announce it for that. So I cannot wait. Then we got the monster of the Knockouts division, Miss Dani Luna versus Hurley Hudson, and Dani popped off on poor Hurley, kicking a big leg and then doing powerful slams and boots. Dani tried doing a bear hug, but that backfired. Dani Luna was like a wrecking ball, and at the end she hits her with the Luna landing. And then after, Arianna Grace checks up on her homegirl Hurley Hudson, and out of nowhere Dani Luna beats the hell out of her and puts the Lana Luna on her. Lei Ying Lee, the Knockouts champion, comes out trying to save, but then Dani Luna puts her to sleep, and then Zaya Brookside comes out to help her Angel Warrior partner, but then she also as well get the Luna landing. Dani Luna just took out 4 knockouts like it was nothing, and she's coming for that title. Guys, I've been saying this. Dani Luna is a breakout star, and she just proved why. She took out 4 knockouts like it was nothing. And I can't wait to see this big push for the monster of TNA, Dani Luna. Then we have a love story going on backstage. So Mara Sheree and Ryan Nemeth is talking backstage, and Mara Sheree says, leave me alone. And Ryan's like, I know why you keep super kicking me and getting in my business. Is it because you like me? And Mara Sheree says, no, I'm not. And Ryan Nemeth says, why not? Like, let me, he's trying to flirt with her, and Sheree's like, do that again and you'll get super kicked. He tried to flirt with her again, and then out of nowhere he gets super kicked in the face. Really funny storyline. I guess this is gonna be kind of a feud into maybe a love story. We need to wait to see, but it's really interesting that they are gonna continue this storyline. I think they can actually do something with this. And then we got Order 4 looking for Agent Zero, but he was nowhere to be seen. Then they went to their press conference talking about their match, Ali's match against Elijah at TNA Genesis next week. And Ali says it's time to put Elijah away and just get rid of the past, and he doesn't want to bring up the horse because he's traumatized by horses after Elijah tormented him with the kidnapping. So you know what Elijah does? He brings out the horse and he chases Order 4 out the building. Literally, he chases them outside of the building as well. Really funny, really good. I feel like this is gonna be a really good storyline. Maybe we get some type of stipulation match at Genesis with a horse. They're really bringing in this horse aspect. Don't tell me it's like a casket match. You know what? They could do kind of like a casket match, but the loser had to put the person on a horse, like a cowboy style. I think I can kind of see that for Genesis. So maybe some type of stipulation with the horse or cowboy style for this match. Then we got the TNA Intercontinental Championship match with Stacks Lorenzo and Steve Maclin. Steve went crazy right away, whooping the hell out of Stacks's. But Stacks hits a killer backbreaker and then a leg drop, but then on the outside they start brawling, and then the Outlaws get involved. So Lexus King, Lexus King, High Rise, Brooks Jensen, Charlie Dempsey, but Steve Maclin fights him off, and then at the end they get kicked out by ringside, except Arianna Grace. So Arianna Grace does the most heinous thing. She goes in the ring, she goes up to Steve Maclin and rakes the hell out of his eyes with her acrylic nails. That looked like it hurt it like hell. She had her acrylics and she digged them so deep into Steve Maclin's eyes that he was screaming in agony. Then out of nowhere, the Outlaws came and beat up Steve Maclin to a pulp and let Stacks Lorenzo hit a deadly kick to his face, knocking him out. Pretty much, the Outlaws are a pretty good team. They seem like they're going to be one of the top heel groups who can dethrone them. Not just that, Arianna Grace has been talking to Nikita Lyons currently on Evolve, so we have more members of the Outlaws. We have to wait to see, but the Outlaws seem like a pretty dominant faction going into this new era of TNA. Now we're going to try something new. We're going to do an injury report. So TNA usually do their injury report, so I'm going to talk about injuries, who is clear, who is not clear, and pretty much the 4 knockouts that Dani Luna took out. Myla Grace, Hurley Hudson, Lei Ying Lee, and Zaya Brookside are injured, and we don't know the status of them yet. Most likely, some of them are injured, some of them maybe will not be able to compete. And that just shows that Dani Luna is someone that you do not want to mess in the ring with, because she just took out 4 knockouts and maybe some of them will be on the shelf. Then we got AJ Francis pissed as hell from a couple weeks ago. Rick Strong calling him the X Division champion. So he goes off saying, yes, Rick Strong was a former TNA champion, but without first class, Rick Strong would be absolutely nothing in a piece of pretty much demolishing Rick Strong's legacy in TNA. And he says without AJ Francis, Rick Strong would not be a household name. So Rick Strong does the best thing he does. He puts AJ Francis through a table and then breaks his CDs. Most likely we're going to get a feud, so I cannot wait. Maybe a stipulation. AJ Francis is really good in a stipulation match, like when he did that ladder match and also when he did that street fight with Mike Santana. So please make it a stipulation of a street fight, because AJ Francis is really good in those types of matches. Then we got some big news for TNA's first show on AMC. We got some matches announced. So Elijah would team up with the Hurries to face Order 4 before Elijah and Ali will go head-to-head at TNA Genesis. And then we get the TNA Knockouts Women's Championship match that will happen against the Inspiration. Will defend their titles against the Elegance brand. And this is really interesting. I most likely think maybe the Elegance brand is going to retain. I feel like sooner or later, Ash by Elegance will be ready to come back to competition. So when she does, they're going to need their titles. I don't know for sure, but I don't know. I have a high feeling that the Elegance brand is going to steal the championship somehow. Then we got the main event match. So we had the System with JDC's last tag match before his single match at TNA Genesis against Leon Slater, Cedric Alexander, and the Hardys. And boy, was it good. Eddie took on Matt, but then Jeff helped tag in. So it was great back and forth. Leon Slater went flying. Moose was the powerhouse taking down everyone. But at the end, Cedric Alexander pins Moose. And Moose was shocked. Because on TNA Genesis, we will get Leon Slater, Alexander, and Moose for the X Division Championship. So does this mean Alexander is more likely going to be able to steal that X Division Championship? We have to wait to see. And then we close the show with Mike Santana and Frankie Kazarian's contract signing for next week's first show of the TNA New Era for the TNA Championship. And boy, Frankie and Kazarian dig deep. He talked about how Mike Santana had an addiction, but he's addicted to being a champion and being on top. That's a better addiction than Mike Santana will ever have. Bringing up Mike Santana's past, dealing with alcohol and drugs and stuff, but then Mike Santana talks about how he got the help he needed and how him and Frankie used to be at the same promotion, talking about AEW and how they was disappointed how they got booked and how they was underutilized. Now on TNA, they're the top stars, and he can't wait to get the title back on the biggest event of TNA's history, and he's gonna whip the hell out of Frankie Kazarian. But then out of nowhere, Nic Nemeth shows up, because remember, he had the Call Your Shot gauntlet win too, but he never cashed it in, not like Frankie Kazarian. So Nic Nemeth brings up that while Frankie cashed in, he didn't cash in. So he pretty much says at the end of the first TNA show, he will be ready. Whoever walks out as champion, he's going to come in and cash in. We have to wait to see. I don't know if that's true. I think he was just playing in mind games, but we have to wait. But this is a really good way to start the TNA new era. We have a dominant force in Dani Luna. We have a great rivalry in Frankie and Mike Santana with history from a former company and bringing up dirt of each other's past. We have a love story going on with Marjorie and Ryan Nemeth. We have AJ Francis and Rick Strong brawling. We have Elijah coming in whipping people with horses. And we have Arianna Grace putting her acrylic nails in people's faces while the Outlaws beat them up after. Pretty good show. And I cannot wait for the first new era of TNA. And I cannot wait. It's rumors that there's some surprises. I've been seeing a lot that Casey Navarro been posting. Hopefully he comes back because he's been kind of teasing it. So we have to wait to see. Hopefully you guys liked the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.